All right, let's turn now to the White House, where later on today, President Trump will make his first ever visit to the Department of Justice. There, he will deliver what the White House calls a speech to, quote, restore law and order. The move is not unprecedented, but it is highly unusual because historically, sitting presidents try to maintain the agency's appearance of being politically independent. Well, the last known public appearance by a sitting U.S. president was back in February of 2015. That's when former President Barack Obama visited to pay tribute to outgoing Attorney General Eric Holder. Now, before that, it was in November of 2001 where President George W. Bush formally changed the name of the building in honor of Robert F. Kennedy. So let's go live now to Washington and CBS News Chief White House correspondent Nancy Cordes. Nancy, what should we expect to hear from the president later on today?
Hey, Liz, so the big difference between what the president is going to be doing today and what presidents have done in the past, as you laid out, is that those visits were ceremonial, renaming the building, saying goodbye to the attorney general. This visit today is political, or at the very least policy oriented, because the president is going to lay out what he wants the Department of Justice to do. And that's something that presidents typically don't do that overtly. He is going to talk about the fact that in his view, the DOJ was weaponized in the past against him in particular, but now that many of the lawyers who investigated cases having to do with January 6th or having to do with him have been fired, he is going to argue that he wants DOJ to be more focused on safety, on crime, on keeping Americans protected. The question is, will he go further than that? Will he make off-the-cuff remarks that suggest, for example, that he wants DOJ to go after his political enemies, which is something that he talked about from time to time on the campaign trail, something that his new FBI director, Kash Patel, has talked about in the past as well. We'll just have to wait and see if he goes there.
Yeah, we'll be watching for those remarks, Nancy. And also, out of the White House, the president says that discussions that took place with Russian President Vladimir Putin yesterday were, quote, productive. Right. What else did he say?
Well, he said that he's hopeful that they can achieve a ceasefire or an end to the war altogether in the near future. But publicly, the things that Russia has been saying aren't all that definitive. They have said that they are theoretically open to a ceasefire, but only if the terms of that ceasefire are beneficial to them. And certainly they don't see eye to eye with Ukraine on what the terms of even a 30-day ceasefire should look like. So the prospects of some kind of agreement, even a short-term agreement, remain murky. And we're trying to figure out if the president himself has plans to speak with Vladimir Putin in the near future.
All right, we'll be watching for that as well. Nancy Cordes live for us at the White House. Thanks so much, Nancy.